Okay, you know when people are like, oh, I did a thing, and then they tell you about this thing that you don't care about? Well, it's my turn. Yay, me. Okay, so I bought this, this is a lantern. One of those wooden ones where you put a candle in there and all that stuff. I'm taking it apart. Taking all those screws out, taking that bottom plate where the candle would go, and I was going to just line it with the paper, but then I decided to completely give it a new base, something that would hold its shape and be removable. And you'll see what I did with that in a minute. Let's see, what am I doing? Oh, yeah, glue. Again, trouble with glue. I don't know how to use glue. Apparently the lid was just pushed down. Like, you can't just twist it off like normal brand glue. This one you have to pull as you twist, even though the twisties are there. Okay, anyways, I covered the hole. I put something heavy, quote, heavy, to hold it in place. What am I doing now? I'm using hot glue because hot glue dries so much faster. And this lantern obviously doesn't have to be, it probably shouldn't be perfectly sealed, because it's supposed to hold fire, and fire needs oxygen. But since I'm not using it for that, I am going to put a piece of this cardboard paper all up and down the crease there on both sides. So that way it is not airtight. I mean, air can still go in, but it just won't have any exposed cracks, and things can't go in and out of it. So it's not that I want it like super sealed and again, airtight. Just don't want easy access. There we go. Trying to limit the in and out access. I know words. So I glue it onto the frame and onto the door frame. So that way when it closes, I just have to create a crease there and it closes just fine. Let's put a little few more drops of glue somewhere. I have that little piece of paper back there near the glue. I think you saw me pick it up right now, and I dropped it right in front of me. That's just the label that came with this box, and I use that to not burn my fingers. Burning my fingers is something I'm very good at. I don't want to be. So I found something to help me cover my fingers. Okay, so that opened and closed. Now I needed to put a little bit of a flap on where the door latch was, because again, there was a bit of a gap. And I wanted to close that up. So I got this long piece and I folded it twice, which makes 4 sheets now, I guess you want to go. Segments. That makes 4 segments. I don't know what that is. My daughter kept coming in and asking for assistance, and why not? It wasn't that horrible. She's making bracelets. Look at that. How cute, huh? Okay. So that's folded. And then I attach it to the door with the outmost crease. So like you fold it in half, and then you fold it in half, and there's like just one big crease on the outside. That facing in, you're not going to see a picture, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that the flaps don't get caught on the door when you open and close it, so that way you have less struggle. Okay, you know when you it gets pushed in, so the flaps will start flapping the other way. Well, you don't give it a chance to do anything. That's it. If I knew how, I would add an extra image of what I did here. Maybe there'll be a picture somewhere eventually at some point. Not right now. Let me see. What did I do? Oh, I cut little strips that are like hitting the bottom there. You know, it's just gonna make it a pain, and it's gonna make it constantly crease, and it's fine, but at the same time it's going to not be fine. And again, I think I lost the paper there. Oh, I found something to push it down because hot glue is hot. What do we have going on? More just making sure everything stays down. I'm doing this upside down because I'm trying to make sure that the other piece where I put school glue has time to dry. Oh, I think I moved it off already. But you see the hole on top? It's covered up. Now you see this paper here? I'm just going to use it as a template. Just kind of getting a rough shape of it. And then, because I still have cat tree cardboard left over, I go find some of that. Yeah, it's a rough shape of what I need. Close enough. You don't like it? Oh well! At this point, I think I'm still contemplating whether or not I want to keep this paper as the final base. At some point, I realized that I'm going to need to remove this constantly, and it's not holding the shape. And maybe something a little bit more stable would be better suited. Words, I know words. So here I am with a piece of cardboard and school scissors. You know, for elementary age children, not my big old hands. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of reflecting to realize how lazy you are. It fits, kind of. There's like little, I'm cutting the corners, just a little tiny hairline cut because of the wooden frame in there. The corners stick in. Boom, look at that. Nailed it. Now I have to figure out where the center is. Drinking the juicy. Now I get some more of this glue, which just recently fell off. So it lasted a good while. And I also put glue on the nails, so I'm going to have to go in and find a way to put glue in there, which is not going to be hard for me. I know how to mess it up. So now I'm going to leave it in there so it could dry. Voila! Look at that. This is what I did. Okay, so I did hot glue a bunch of... The phone turned off while I was doing this. I hot glued the twine onto corners of the wood, across the glass, and then across the frame. I got milkweed leaves, and I hung it all over like a horrible Christmas tree. And I got, get the beaters. These are monarch caterpillar. Look at them go. Hey, starving creatures. They are hanging off the glass. They are crawling across the leaves, across that twine. I've got those clips, so I could get those clips and I could clip more leaves in there. I have, 4, but only 2 at a time. I've got 2 pieces of twine that go across this box, lantern, caddy house, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And I shove leaves in there. Once they are filled with the leaves, I put them in the refrigerator. Once the caterpillars eat all of the available leaves, I go to the refrigerator, pull out this preloaded piece of twine and just clip it on there so they won't go hungry. Now, while the caterpillars are happy inside eating, I could take my sweet time and reload the empty twine. Then put the twine back in the refrigerator and start the whole process again in about 4 hours. They eat fast. Like, these little buggers have one purpose in life, and that is to gorge. You do you, boo. At the reptile show last year, there was a gentleman outside with a canopy netted up and secure, filled with these things. And I asked them, what do you feed them? Because I do know for a fact that monarchs love their milkweed. That's how I have a bunch, because I have a bunch of milkweed. But the plants outside are stripped bare now. There is no food out there for any caterpillars. So hopefully whatever was out there got its fill, because there's nothing out there. They told me that they eat the butternut squash. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. And I looked over, and sure enough, there were some caterpillars on top of some butternut squash, just going yum, 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 yum. And I was like, okay. So I did add butternut squash in here for, like, you know, whenever they were running low and not all of them had a leaf to chew on while I was switching out the leaves or twine. They had butternut squash throughout the cage as well to be able to get to. And I like the butternut squash because it's like giant blocks, at least giant to a caterpillar. And it could be one on each side chewing on it without them harassing each other, because caterpillars are mean. There is no sharing. There is definitely no caring. You want some of this? You gotta get through me first. And having available options is very nice of me, because they're mean to them, each other, to themselves, to each other. They're nice to themselves because they'll fight for their food. Anyways, have I switched out? Have I switched out the leaves yet? I don't know. I wasn't really watching. I was just talking, trying to keep myself concentrated in the words coming out of my mouth versus the things going through my peepholes. Look at that fat one right there. What? I heard honking. I don't know. They're like very twitchy. Oh, okay. Another thing I learned. I don't know how many people know this. I didn't. Apparently, they constantly drop silk. I don't know if it's from all of their toesies or just a couple of their toesies. But whenever I pick one up, it will produce silk. And I'm guessing this is so, A, they try to protect themselves from predators or trying to eat them, and they're stickier to their stuff, to whatever they're hanging on to. And the predator lets them go. And or, in case they fall, they have, like, you know, spider webs holding onto something, and they have like a softer landing. But just throughout the glass, when I'm not touching them, I started seeing like squiggle marks. And I was like, oh, I guess this glass came with design. No, this glass came perfectly clear and clean. They just leave web wherever they walk. And I know it's like webbish, like silk, like I said, like spider webs. Because when I cleaned it, I had like a little tiny hairball in my hand of all of their footprints. So it's not just something that they make as they're falling or as they feel in danger. They're just walking and making. thought that was kind of cool and weird. So that means that this whole lantern is now a web lantern. Well, no, I cleaned it, but let's just pretend. Wow, that's empty. Have you been watching? I haven't been watching. There's a lot going on in the background there. Oh, I watch all the stuff I watch. Pay no attention to my phone. If you can't see what I'm talking about, it's probably because I zoomed in on the video, so you won't see what I see. Can you see what I see? No, you edited it out. They're just going up and down looking for every single last morsel. And here, okay, I'm opening. Open. No, what am I doing? I opened. Oh, I might have put some squash in there. But I'm not. See them way down there? How much more time? Oh, we're only halfway through of this video. So yeah, this is the thing I did. I made a caterpillar terrarium holding cell. Now, okay, my stuff, plenty of time. I can talk about this all day. Is there a particular reason why I wanted to take these perfectly happy caterpillars out of the outside world and bring them into my little cage? Yes, I'm a narcissist. Just kidding. Well, maybe not. But you will see that when they try to cocoon, they die. And the reason for that is parasite. There is like a fly. I think it's a fly. And it's one of those weird flies that look like bees. They're skinny, kind of more like a wasp, I guess. And they have black and yellow stripes. They're not a bee, they're a fly. And they embed their egg or larva into the caterpillars. Oh, okay, the scene changed. Totally missed it. You'll see one here try to cocoon, but then all of a sudden a weird white string will just plop out of their body. And I've seen it now. I've finally seen it. It's like a giant white booger, and it's sliding down. Sorry, if you don't like bugs, I guess I should have put this disclaimer somewhere in there. Anyways, a little late for that. Okay, so this weird white booger starts to like slide down, and at the end of it is like a white pebble. Well, that pebble is larva that has just eaten the entire inside of this poor animal, which I find it very messed up. Like, it's nature. Like, I'm not gonna stop it. Yeah, okay. But the fact that this poor animal is still moving and eating, and then trying to develop, only so it could be that. It would almost feel a little bit better if it died and then got used as a cocoon. You know, that's just me. But I'm not really trying to stop nature. Kind of. If I keep these animals inside, then those eggs can be laid in them. And you will see that there are plenty of caterpillars that got this situation happen to them. Okay? But for now, just enjoy the view. It's fun watching these things just climb up and down. They're very fun. This first night, I didn't notice that I was already asleep. This is probably like at 1 a.m. And they ate everything, so they're like kind of chilling for the day. They're like up there, just waiting for food. So while they're up there waiting for food, let me give you a bit of a spoiler. Spoiler alert. I did end up with about 20 plus cocoons, what I would call viable cocoons. In other words, no weird booger hanging out of it. And I would like for those to hatch like on live stream. The problem is that I actually require subscribers. Hi, if I could just get like 50 subscribers, I could do a live stream. Now, I do know that they do hatch early in the morning, like around 8 in the morning. So if I am able to do that, that's the time that will happen. But, uh, um, you know, subscribe. So hopefully we can see all these things hatch, because there's a bunch. Yeah. It almost looks like a highway. Okay, someone sing this song. You know you want to. It's funny. But they're just zooming up and down. Just going crazy. It looks so cool. But yeah, it would be very fun to be able to watch these things hatch live. Because, you gotta live in the moment. And right now, they're really trying to attack that seed pod. That weird green thing that's in the bottom left corner of the cage that we can see there, that is a milkweed seed pod. It usually stays on the plant until the seeds develop and it gets dry and it opens. And just think of it as the dandelions. When you blow on it, you go and all that white dusty stuff flies everywhere. Well, think of that, but like on steroids. It's a bunch of white fluff just flying through the air and little tiny seeds attached to the bottom of them. But they're giant. Not like the dandelions. These things are fat. I kind of like how they're all just hanging out on the roof. So I did mention how the plate underneath is attached to cardboard, and I will take the cardboard out and dump out the poo. Again, spoiler alert, there is tons of poo. Holy poo. There's a lot of poo. So, I mean, I think, which, I mean, is what I'm trying to get at, that it's funny that they're up on the roof, because they know what they do down there. They are trying to stay far, far away from that. Yeah. They're really looking. And, okay. That seed pod that's in there. Back to the seed pod. Don't think that I put it in there just to be mean or that I don't know what I'm doing. I have seen those seed pods outside, half open, half eaten, still green, with seeds missing half of their side. And that white fluff just munched away. It is funny. These things will eat everything and anything. So thankfully I did remember about that butternut squash, and gave them something else to chew on, because wow, they are vicious when it comes to their food. Stuff 10 minutes, right? about now. I just like watching them walk past each other. Oh, I don't know if we've noticed this, but there's already one cocooned. The like, it's kind of in the middle of the screen. It's in one of the corners. It's directly on one of the corners that's in the middle of the screen because there's one on top. Oh, camera change. And yes, you can see the cocooned one there. There was like a lot of light glare that happened through here, so I had to cut all that out because it was really oh, that's so gross. You could see it like slide down. I think it was the booger that I was telling you about. I'm recording, so I can't go back and look at it, but I think you could have seen one there. There's a cocoon, there was a booger, there's new leaves, and there was light glare, so you couldn't see the transition between nighttime and daytime. Yeah. And they're crawling up and down. I did try, I don't know if I tried for this one, but I did try to, like, if they were stuck in a funny corner or down on the bottom, I would try to put them in sections of the leaves so that way they had like once they realized where they were and they were hungry, they start eating the leaves and then they could expand from there. Because I do know that sometimes, like, I mean, they have to travel all these walls and get the right string to get to their food. It seemed like a bit of a hassle. So, you know, I would, at least the ones on the bottom, I wouldn't mess with the ones at top because I don't know if they're trying to cocoon. But I figured that if they were like crawling on the sides, on the walls, and on the string, then they're trying to find food. And if I put them on food and they walked away from food, that's their choice. But if they're on the roof not knowing how to get to food, I'm not going to mess with them. And again, if they're on the ground. I love watching them move. It's so amazing. They just slide down like a firefighter. Just went across the highway. Ah, this looks so cool. The little ones. remember that we need to subscribe so that way we could do a live feed. Please. So yeah, just share or take someone's phone and just hit the subscribe button for them. They'll thank you in the long run, I promise. It's just like a fun little highway. And look how they just went through all of that. One side is completely empty of leaves. The other side is really getting worked on. Like once they could smell that they have, their favorite food nearby, they go bonkers. Just sit there and stare at them all day and be very not productive. It looks like a porcupine. Just got the last strands. In case you're wondering, yes, there is more food down at the bottom of those two strings that are going straight down. And at the very bottom, there is a piece of that butternut squash. You saw the butternut squash getting tied up down there. I have it in this angle because there's a lot of them up there where they're going to be cocooning. Look at all those leaves, jeez. So yes, that's why you do see them going down the fire pole, because there is something down there for them. There's butternut, and there is also leaves down there. There are clips in different locations. Okay, you'll see a clip right here in front of you, and there's leaves hanging off of it all weird. Those are all over as well. You just can't see them because they're below the camera line. I have it like this because they're clearly all hanging up top, and you don't want to see the poo. They're all clearly up there. And that's what we want to watch. And here they are again. Everybody has their own elbow room, except for those two in the middle. Are fighting over the same piece. Just jump ship. Jeez. It's also funny because they will hang on to their very last legs and swing their head up like an angry snake, searching for something. If they could touch anything, any direction. And once they touch something, they will do their sticky web toe thing and stick to the other thing and just start climbing it all weird. And jump ship. I have no idea how I got that butternut squash up there, but it's up there. See, there's a few caterpillars up top that are doing their weird dangly thing. Those are ready to cocoon, and there's that one just crawling around. Oh, look down to the highway. Oh, there he goes. About to eat. I don't know. This one's just traveling. I can't figure out which leaf is yummy. Very calm. It's like they take naps. I really gotta turn this box like this. I need to be able to see everything.
Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.